Hey yo, what is going on guys? CashinClean here, and before I actually start this video, I do want to mention I did a Trove interview with Wahoo. If you do want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. And if you want to check out his channel as well, he gives you guys updates on the game, events, tutorials, guides, all that stuff. So if you do want to check him out, go ahead. Like I said, I'll leave that link for that stuff in the description. And as you read from the title, you guys on console are finally getting the Gear Up update as well as the Rising Tides update. So I do have a guide on basically everything involving both of those updates on my channel. So if you do want to check that out, if you get stuck, feel free to check that out. Now, I'm sure you guys do want a release date, and I found out about this because of KO, so shoutouts to you. You know who you are. But I also looked into it from the community post, and it looks like that you guys on console, every single console, all platforms are getting the Gear Up update and the Rising Tides. So that's going to be the Crystal 5 update, as well as the Mystic Gear update, so all that stuff. And it looks like that you guys are getting this on August 13th. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that exact day, because it did mention that we're getting the event, the Lunar Plunge event, on the 13th, and then the text below it was just the update talking about console. So at this point, I'm just assuming that it's tied in with the 13th, or if that's just going to be released either the week after or the week before, or whatever the case may be. But we'll just go with the 13th. Seems like there's a good chance for that to be on that day. And it's pretty crazy because you guys are actually getting the update before GTA 6 even comes out. So shoutouts to you guys. If you guys know Pokemon's editor, shoutouts to that person as well. But anyway, I want to give you guys a couple pieces of advice. So if you're going to be doing the Longshade area, so this is the new area, everything gets changed to the difficulty names instead of like Ubers. So if you're trying to refer to something, just say D, this one's 9, this one's D14, this is, or you can just say the name Mega Dark, so this is for like U10 ships and stuff like that. And then this right here is supposed to be U12, or you can call it D15. And then, you know, this is U11 right here, this is U10. You guys kind of get the point of that. Don't get this confused with U15 because we haven't gone up that high yet. And I guess going into the future, I might just call everything by either the difficulty name or just D15, stuff like that. Kind of sucks that they got rid of Ubers, but I mean, I guess, I don't know, it is what it is. Anyway, back to the advice. So I do recommend playing the meta characters, but at the same time, if you guys do enjoy a class, then I would just say stick with that. When the update does drop for you guys, just know that the servers are going to be pretty laggy. So if you use characters like Shadowhunter, a Trickster, just, you know, the magic damage characters, or just like Shadowhunter has like a ranged character, you have to have the arrows actually land. You're most likely going to have a lot of hits not register. So if you use characters like Rev, Boomeranger, I would say Solarion, but Solarion isn't going to work too well unless you use the ultimates. Just basically things like that. I guess my main thing that I'm trying to say is be cautious of that stuff. Still play who you want to. In terms of like the meta characters, Boomeranger is really good. Shadowhunter is still really good since you can shoot enemies through walls and stuff. Although in D15 you might struggle a little bit because you will need a bunch of light. And if you actually want to do damage, having at least 12k light is going to be beneficial for you guys, because obviously more light the better. And then if you have like the martial emblem or the arcane emblem to help you with those 5-star dungeons, the new ones, I'll talk about that in just a second. But the reason why I came down here is that if you use Boomeranger, for example, he has a ring ability called Cyclone. And what the Cyclone thing does is on your third hit, it creates this little vortex thing, so it pulls in all the enemies. And before, this wasn't like a super standout like OP ability or anything. It's pretty handy. It's like a little mini vacuum, and it's kind of like Candy Barb's pull ability, but instead of just like pulling the enemies, you're also doing damage. And before I get into the 5-star, this is going to be basically what it looks like. You'll have the spawn area that's blue, and then you'll have 3 biomes that are on rotation every 3 hours. And I will leave a link to the biome rotations in the description if you do want to check it out. It'll be in your time zone if you click on it. But if your PC is not up to date with your current clock, it will be a little bit off. So just make sure that's up to date. But I do want to talk about the 5-star. You'll see this basically in every single biome apart from that spawn area. And I'm not going to actually complete this, but I do want to talk about the crystals. So if we start this, for example, so all the enemies, like these ones will group together, kinda. Sometimes they'll spread apart. But the cool thing is that you can just do this and they all get pulled in. So you see how they're not going away? So we'll wait for the next wave of enemies, and they're all kind of far. And as you can see, because of my ability, they get kind of pulled in. It gets kind of laggy sometimes, they kind of do that. But if I just keep on attacking, they get pulled in. It makes it so much easier to do not only these crystals, but everything in general. So you can just use your abilities, use whatever you want to, and you'll basically just get done with that pretty quickly, pretty easily. All right, I'm a little bit out of breath, but let's not talk about what I just had to do. But like I was mentioning, just do all of the objectives. You'll have to watch out for the clams that will one-shot, and if you come back to the middle, there'll be a chest. You can use your key, and the cool thing about these keys is that you'll make enough fragments to get more keys, so you'll make profit. I've mentioned this in previous videos. And then if you do delves, you're actually going to lose profit, but you do need to do the delves for the souls of the depths, but you only get like 1. So it's kind of a mess of a situation. And I want to show you guys the other spawn area, so let me just go find one real quick. So if you look over here on the map, we have like these little outpost things. So it'll be the ship So on the ship, you can find an anvil, which you can also find in the hub. You'll find the rune crafting bench, which is also at the hub. And then we'll have this bench over here where you can sometimes have this, but it's a little weird why it does that. But the main thing I wanted to show was the 2 keys. These are going to be time gated, and the other sparkling is going to be time gated. And then as far as the normal keys, we have the ones for the 5-star, ones for the delves. And then these are going to be the depth steppers for the new delve. There's also this guy over here. No, wait, no, not that guy. This guy over here, where you can buy all that stuff, but it's also not recommended. It's pretty costly, and the sparkling keys don't really give you that much extra. It's really terrible. And then we have like the loot collector and all that stuff here. Also, if you guys do happen to host 5-star dungeons, since most likely you will when doing this update, I'm going to put up a picture on screen. If you guys are hosting 5-star dungeons, I recommend taking this path over here. Just try to follow one direction. You can use your compass to go in a certain direction, and then you'll be able to find 5-star dungeons there, and then you can invite your group, and then you can go on and find another one, and then invite your group there. It's probably hard to host them on console compared to PC, but it is doable. But basically, you make like a little snake-like pattern, and then what I would do is just respawn and then go the other direction that you haven't gone in already. And then when you finish that, you can just go to a new biome. And you'll have 3 hours to host this until the new biome rotates, because once it rotates, it's going to say that the world is closed and then you can't invite anybody. So you'll have to join a new one because the biomes will rotate. So stay on the cautious side of that. And I think that's it. If you guys do have questions, I have a bunch of guides on my channel, so feel free to check that out. I was actually super surprised that you guys on console are actually getting the update pretty quickly here. I thought that there was like a massive duping situation going on, but at the same time, I really have no idea what's going on, so as long as everything doesn't get duped on console, I really have no idea what that situation is even like on console, but I hope that everything is resolved on there, and if not, then I guess hopefully the devs can step in, roll back the servers, do something to fix everything, but I guess we'll have to see. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you find yourself coming back. And like always, thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing, and I will talk to you all later.